Sparking Change with Gigi, a show that aims to make the world a better place by bringing together authentic minds. This show encourages each of us to be the change we wish to see in the world. Get ready to be inspired and join us on this journey to create a brighter future for all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change with Gigi. I'm your host, Giovanna Tartarone, and today we're going to be talking about my favorite topic, understanding spiritual and energy practices. I have with me Beth Lees. She is the expert. I feel like I'm the baby here, and she's going to teach us, the difference between the two and how we can really embrace these modalities to help us self-heal, because healing begins within, right, Beth?
It absolutely does.
So thank you
for
for
all the answers within us. Thanks so much for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. And I know you're a Reiki master, and I'm going to try to pronounce this right. Jinshin Jitsu.
You got it.
Thank you. And tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into it, and really let's just go with the flow and see where this takes us. But this is such a beautiful way of, just bringing out ways that people can take charge of their health, right? Like you said, everything starts within, and I truly believe that. So let's get started. Yeah, tell us.
Right.
Yes.
So I've always felt very spiritually connected ever since I was a small child. And I credit that to helping me survive a pretty traumatic childhood. And I began my own healing journey when I was 15, looking for ways to alleviate the side effects of some PTSD. And I discovered meditation, which led me down a path of really embracing energy healing. I found energy healing when I was probably 30, in my early 30s.
Wow.
And I love it.
So, you know what? Let's go there. What does energy healing mean to you?
Oh, it's such a great question. Energy healing to me is a way of balancing our mind, our body, and our spirit through just really simple, easy techniques.
And would you say this energy that we're speaking about is this natural flow that resides within us, that we kind of like associate it with, when you say, oh my goodness, I have so much energy, I'm ready to like go out and party tonight, and or I am pooped, I have no energy whatsoever. Like, we can feel that energy in our body, correct?
Yes, and we can feel it in other people too. You get drawn to somebody, right? Because they're really positive and they're enthusiastic, or they make you feel good. Or you stay away from people that don't have such positive energy, right?
Absolutely. So we can identify it that way. But today we also want to really teach how that same energy, which is like a life force, it keeps us alive, it keeps our organs going, it keeps, our mind going, how we can use it to help us heal. Whether it is from traumas, whether it is from a negative experience. It doesn't have to be trauma anyway. It could be anything.
No, it definitely does not have to be trauma.
Let's make it clear. Yeah.
Make it clear. It's just through daily living. We were stressed out. We're stressed out about finances. We're stressed out about a relationship, any kind of stress, just through daily living. I liken it to your home. You have to clean your home. You have to clean up after yourself. Sometimes you do a deep cleaning. Sometimes you just, straighten things up a little bit. And it's like, it's not like you're ever done doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love, I bought this book here and I want to share it. It's called The 4 Levels of Healing. I'm sure you heard of this. The 4 levels of. No? Oh my goodness. So it's a beautiful book. It's been around a long, long time. And, we all know we need to heal on a mental level, physical level, emotional level, and a spiritual level, right? This is where we have the harmonious with, to make sure that there's a balance. Because if there's not a balance, this is when we experience discomfort. We're struggling. We don't know, we're looking for answers. We don't know where it is. So a lot of us just worry about the physical, right? I'm not feeling well. Let me go to the doctor. They're going to help me out. They know what's wrong with me. The only truth I've experienced, I'm going to speak for myself. Whatever's wrong with me, it's within me. Whatever's wrong with me, I have the answers first. The doctors are there to help us tremendously, but they're there to help us with the symptoms, right? It's so, we can't look for the doctors to tell us the cause. I'm sorry. Like, I have to be honest to my audience. Like, we go to them and we're like, okay, they're going to help me. They're going to know where this is coming from. No, they're going to help you feel better with the symptoms.
That's right.
But where it's coming from is understanding these 4 aspects of our life, because that's the only way we function on all 4 levels. And when we're feeling great and our energy is up, we have a nice equilibrium.
Yeah, you're in the flow, right?
Right, we're in the flow.
Said.
So I know you've done so many practices. Like I said, I'm the baby, you're the mother here. So share with us. And I'm so fascinated with understanding like the deep levels of this, because it really makes us feel like
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that empowering piece, because I feel like we all have the power to heal ourselves. It's just a question of knowing some ways to do it. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very simple. And sometimes the simplest things are the best because you go to them, right?
Can I share the finger thing?
Yeah.
All right, my friends, you ready for this? So Beth, if you go to her website, she has an interview that she did. And in the interview, she leaves some tips on how you can self-heal. And she talks about the fingers in the hand. And she says, if you hold on to your thumb, what does that mean?
You alleviate worry. You harmonize worry.
You harmonize worry. Now, the only other one I'm going to give you, only because I want to have some fun here, there's the middle finger, right?
It's the middle finger.
It's the middle finger. And the middle finger, as you all know, when do we use that? When we are, go ahead, Beth.
Angry,
right? And boy, do I remember my son using that all the time. But anyway.
All you have to do is hold it to harmonize the anger. You don't have to flip the bird to people.
That's right. See, now he's got another technique he can use and not get in trouble, right? But anyway, but if you want to know the rest, go visit her website. But these are tips that, who's teaching us this? It's not in any books, I promise you that.
No.
So let's get into some more of how we can feel empowered, because just doing that alone, you're going from reacting to responding.
That's right.
Right? And when you're responding, guess who's in charge?
You.
We are. And that's the best feeling in the world, that you can actually own your own emotions, which empower you to make better decisions.
Yeah, and a lot of that is just fine. That's why I find meditation to be so super powerful, because it allows you to step into a place of just witnessing your thoughts. A lot of people feel like meditation is about stopping thinking, but it's not. That's impossible. Your brain is meant to think. But you can create a pause or a gap and watch yourself witnessing your thoughts. So you're not just automatically letting the brain run the show.
Right. Or you can flip the thoughts, right? Because thoughts,
and you can flip the thoughts, flip the script. Yeah.
That's it. And again, that makes you in charge.
Yes. And the only way that you can flip the script is to step back and to know what your thoughts are.
Be the
instead of just
observer.
thinking your thoughts all the time. You have to be able to observe what those thoughts are.
Being the observer. I love that. I love that, because then you can give yourself a different command.
That's right. And
Right.
being the witness creates that space, that gap. Being the witness allows you to slow things down enough so that you can really see what it is that you're thinking, hear what it is that you're thinking, hear what it is that you're feeling. You know, so many of us are running around on the hamster wheel of life, and we don't take time out just to sit for 5 minutes. It doesn't need to be an hour. It doesn't need to be half an hour. Everybody's got time to sit for 5 minutes just to like observe what's happening in their body, in their mind, in their emotional field, right?
It's acknowledging the self. You know,
Absolutely.
the other self that's in you, that helps you to, you know, gives you guidance, you know, that intuitive knowledge that you go, you know, I don't think I want to go there tonight. Something's telling me don't go there, right? Or go for it. Go get it. It's yours.
Yeah, it's like listening to your bigger S self as opposed to your little s self.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And, you know, like you said, we're so busy, inundated, you know, 8 o'clock this, 9 o'clock this, 10 o'clock this, you know, and it's just like we have a schedule for everything outside of us, and there's no schedule for the inside of us. And it's funny how, you know, as an educator, and I said this to someone the other day, and I love it, and now I'm going to probably say it for the rest of my life. We learn so much from the outside, and we take it in. But when we can flip the switch, and this is what understanding spiritual and energy practices is about, flipping the switch and learning from the inside, then our actions on the outside would be different, and our reality would be different, because we're listening to what we love. We're going after our passion, and we're following our heart desires, and we don't let anything get in the way, right? And when we're on that path, I truly believe, and I studied the Napoleon Hill's work, and there are principles that you if you follow them, they're going to, you know, put you on that path of where you want to be. Understanding the universal laws. Beth, what is all this all about? Universal laws? Like, really? We have laws? I thought we just had laws, like, you know, following the you know, driving laws, and, you know, but universal laws. That was another door that opened up in my life to say, is this real?
Yeah, well, the spiritual laws, the laws of abundance and manifestation and love and balance, and yeah.
It's so beautiful to know that there is another way that we can approach life that will give us that fulfillment that our heart and soul desires.
Absolutely. And it's all about tuning in. You have to tune in to what it is that you desire, and the bigger world that exists within you.
So I, of course, went to your website. You know, I did my homework. And you had this nice saying, which I know it's true, but I want you to explain it a little bit from your perspective.
What's the saying on my website?
It's saying that, it's good, I promise. It says, we are a soul living in a spiritual body. In a body.
Yeah.
We have a soul, but we are a soul. It's the other. Can we go into that a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think of what that quote is. It's a C.S. Lewis quote. You're not a,
You're not a soul. You have a soul.
You have a soul.
Right? And when you
Well,
recognize,
you are a soul and you have a body.
You are a soul. You have a body. Yes.
That's right. Not the other way around.
That you
You're
have
not
a body and there's
you're
a
not
soul in there. Right.
That's right.
So I
You
wanted
said it much better than I just said it, but okay.
but we understand that, yes, people know that, yes, I have a soul. But here, the other side of it that I want another perspective, another view of it, is that you are a soul.
You are a soul. You are connected to everything that is.
Yeah.
You are everything that is. Your love, you're all of that. And we're all put and compartmentalized into a little body, like,
So
right?
I was a math and science teacher / and we studied fractions, right? And I'm going to try to put this in my teacher's
Oh, I
head.
love it.
So we studied fractions, and a whole pie, let's just think of a pie. You know, a whole pie has 4 parts, and we can slice it and dice it in any way we want. And we are part of that pie. And if we're a part of that pie, that means that whole pie really tastes good, right? I want to eat the whole pie. We're not separate from the pie. So when we think about spirituality and who we are, and if you look at yourself as the part of that pie, then if we really understand that at the soul level, at the essence of who we are, we would do things differently. We wouldn't be so afraid. We wouldn't be so worried. Am I right to say that?
Yeah, absolutely. And we would also see other people, we would, as extensions of ourselves.
That's right. That's right.
You know, every time you're meeting somebody else, you're meeting a part of yourself.
So this is why I love this work. I love this work because, you know, it helped me to understand how we are all connected. Energetically, we're all connected. And
yeah, it's like we're islands. We're little islands popping up out of the ocean, right?
oh,
And
absolutely.
underneath, we're all connected, but those are just like little things popping up.
You know, I say when we watch a movie, I was watching a movie yesterday with my team, and I mean, I could not help to feel their feelings and literally, you know, almost shed tears, because there's that energy that continues to flow, right? And you can sense other people's emotions. And stuff is not like, again, it's I never taught this in school, and I'm so happy that, you know, I say I found the secret of life, guys. Once you understand the spiritual energy at a deep level, it can really change. It transformed my life totally to where, you know, I'm so grateful to meet wonderful people, you know, help me to grow in my, not only my awareness, but my expression of who I want to become, what do I want to do in life, and really leave this earth knowing that I did all I could to be the best version of myself and to enjoy life free from just being free. I'll just leave it at that, from being free from worry, fear, doubt, because that truly is what creates our illnesses. And that's what
it's a lower, denser energy, right? And we can all raise our vibe.
Absolutely. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and talk about the different energy practices, and then really understand spiritual energy as well, because I know that is, you know, the two together are very powerful. And, you know, that is your expertise. So we'll be right back, everyone.
Now, the vast majority, approximately 95% of the people of all countries, go around and around without aim or purpose. They drift with the circumstances of life, good or bad.
A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside of his own mind.
Whereas the successful individuals create their own circumstances and ride them to victory.
When you're on purpose, you're living on purpose. You will never quit if you have a real purpose.
A burning desire to be and to do is the starting point from which the dreamer must take off. But what I have done has been recorded, it's been tested, it's being taken to a free world, and it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born.
And it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born. We're some of those people that we're spreading this to the world. As your awareness grows, the doubt is gone so that you can manifest whatever it is your heart desires. Isn't that beautiful?
Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so I practice, I'm a certified emotion code practitioner. We're going to talk about energy practices. So I'm a certified emotional code practitioner and a Psyche facilitator. And I love, love, love those two modalities because it's about dealing with our emotions, releasing trapped emotions from our bodies, and also changing the beliefs that we hold, which truly a combination of the two is what drives our life, our actions, and our results in our life. Share with me some more practices, Beth, that you do and that are out there so that my audience can really understand. There's so much out there that we can, begin to look into and see how it can help us. As the first
There's
step.
lots of things that you can do. Meditation to me is the simplest, easiest, most powerful. It's just a practice of, you just sit. A lot of people feel like they can't meditate. And I like to say that they can't meditate because they haven't found a way of meditating that works for them. But everybody can meditate.
And my mentor, late mentor Bob Proctor, used to say, get a candle, light up a candle, and stare at the flame. Or make a dot on the wall and stare at the dot on the wall. Something where you're listening to what's going on inside. And no different than going to church, right? Like the Christianity, they go to church on Sundays, you're quiet, you take, after you take the host, you bend, put the benches down and you get on your knees, right? But this meditation actually is a little more comfortable because you can do it at home in your pajamas, right?
Yeah, well, the hardest part about meditation is sitting. Honestly, that's the hardest part. Yeah, it's just the sitting piece.
Yeah, I think I don't know why I'm saying this, but we told our kids in school to sit so many hours a day that when they got older, that's the last thing they want to do.
And it only needs to be 5 minutes, really. Just set a timer.
So important. Yeah, it's so.
Just set a timer and sit for 5 minutes. And the best time to do it is the time when you'll do it. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be in the morning. It doesn't have to be at night. It's the time when you'll do it. So just like exercise, the hardest part about exercise is about putting on your shoes and walking out the door. The hardest part about meditating is sitting.
Yeah. But like you said, if you think you can, it was Henry Ford says, if you think you can't, you're right. So change what we say, you may just fall into, just doing it and see what happens. Because once I've learned to do that, my life has been transformed because I'm working from the inside out.
And that's the only way to do it, to take care of yourself, is to work from the inside out. We have all the answers within us. There's a Carl Jung quote, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And so it's so important to make the unconscious conscious, to allow it to come into the light of day. And meditation is a really powerful way to do that.
I love that. I'm sure you heard of Dr. Bruce Lipton. He wrote the book, The Biology of Belief. Please get that book. It's amazing.
Great
but,
book.
We understand that the subconscious mind runs our life. It's on autopilot, 95% of the time. right? So when you're driving to work and you go, my God, how did I get here? Yeah, that's the subconscious. I've done that many a times in the past. It truly runs your life. And if you sit down when you're meditating and take 5 more minutes to write down what you do, what you did during the day, and you look at that in a week span, 95% of that guaranteed is repetitions. You know, you did the same thing over and over again. So if you want to do something different in your life, you must tap into that 95%, right? And make it conscious, and then make the changes that are needed. I mean, that's exactly what you just said right now.
Yep.
And these energy practices will help us to do that.
Absolutely. And you can, a lot of times, some people have a hard time tuning into to their body or what's happening emotionally for them. So even something just as simple as putting your hands over your heart help you focus more inward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about some of the practices. I know we said, I do a few. You do Reiki.
Reiki, I do Jinshin Jitsu, which is the finger holding. That's part of the balancing emotions. I also do integrated energy therapy, which is working with angel energy, which is really powerful. Also working with the realm beyond what you can see right here. I find that to be really powerful as well.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. There's just so much out there, and it can be super simple. That's the thing that I like about energy healing, is it doesn't have to be really complicated. It's like we have these highways of energy flowing through us, and just through daily living, they get blocked and we start feeling pains different places. So even on a physical level, if we can look at that pain as a messenger rather than something just to get rid of.
I love that, because that's exactly what I've learned, is that every ache we have in our body is connected to something that has occurred, an experience that we've had. And, some people may not believe that, but I learned we have an energetic body. When I learned energy, we learned that there's an energetic body with the chakras.
Yep.
Right? Can we talk about that a little bit? Because
that's a lifetime study.
Oh my goodness. I mean, there's so much out there, right? But again, people don't know that there's actually that we hold energy. They know that. But what are these chakras and what do they mean? And let's just a brief overview.
Okay. There's a gazillion chakras, but there are 7 main ones that everybody talks about, which are the root chakra at the base of your spine, the sacral chakra, which is in your belly and the back, lower back, the solar plexus, which is right above it's in the diaphragm area, the heart chakra, obviously, heart, yes. Throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra. And just focusing on those areas, even just as simple as like putting your hands on your head and just like spending do 3 nice deep breaths.
I'm doing it right now.
Do it right now. Why not? And just do 3 nice deep belly breaths and just notice what you're feeling. Be an observer. This actually, if you're like to multitask, I give you extra credit for this. Counts as meditation too.
That's it. Ooh.
See
how simple meditation can be?
It can be so simple. So you just do like 3 breaths on your crown chakra, 3 breaths at your third eye, 3 breaths at your throat, 3 breaths at your heart, 3 breaths at your diaphragm, your belly, and your root chakra.
And that releases like emotions or trapped emotions.
Trapped emotions, physical pain. It'll release mental blockages. It's just super relaxing. It'll bring you into harmony. And it takes depends on how slow you breathe. I'm a slow breather. So.
Oh my goodness. That's beautiful.
And so that's a really simple, it's a great thing to do when you wake up first thing in the morning. It's a great thing to do when you go to bed at night. Just whenever you feel like you need a little boost. Some people get energized by it. Some people get relaxed by it. Just do it and see how you feel.
That's so wonderful, because we're just so get up out of bed and go get breakfast, go get coffee, go get the kids dressed, go da, 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 da. And if you could just take a moment to align your body, right? Being in alignment with the spiritual, the mental, the physical, and emotional part of us, it leaves us in control. I like to go into to talk about the spiritual energy. And at first, I will admit, I thought that was all about religion, right? And as the more we study, the more we gain knowledge and understanding, we raise our awareness, basically, in knowing that, yeah, there's a lot more to it than just thinking it's religion, right? Because we don't practice, spiritual energy on a given day. Like, there's no book that said, oh, make sure, just like we brush our teeth, make sure you do some spiritual practices, because that will help you to stay healthy and be more in control of your life. So let's talk about that, because again, you're the expert. What can you share with us?
Well, I do see that people often confuse religion and spirituality, and a lot of people have had negative religious experiences or are very protective of their religious practices.
Mhm.
And spirituality to me is part of religion, or can be part of religion,
Mhm.
but it's a broader concept. I see us all as being spiritual beings, whether or not we're religious,
Right.
because we
We'll
all
hold the
come
spirit.
from
We'll have, yeah.
we come from something bigger than ourselves. We all have
Mhm.
that spark, and I don't care what you call it,
That's right.
right?
Because
God, the universe, light, like it could be anything.
I think it's Dr. Wayne Dyer that says the thing that you call it, you negate it, right? Once you label it, you negate it. That means you put it in a box, and it can't be something else. So don't call it anything.
Don't call it anything,
Just
exactly.
call it feels good, right? Whatever it is, it feels good. And I think that's really the essence of what we're trying to do when we implement some spiritual practices, is to feel good
And feel connected.
and feel connected to something bigger than us. Exactly. I love that. So what do you do? What's your practice like? You do meditation?
Meditation is definitely my big practice.
Yeah.
And I also I like to read spiritual things. I'm a
Mm,
collector of quotes. I love quotes.
yeah.
Um, yeah, just being quiet, just tuning in.
Yeah. I studied Eckhart Tolle. I took some of his classes. I love him. And, I shared with you, I did a quick video, me being by the water. Um, we're made up 80% water, and water is an element of spirituality. That's how I see it. Water, fire. Um, there's more.
Air, earth.
Right. So, like, we hear about these getting grounded, right? Walking on the ground without your shoes on, that has rubber underneath, that prevents us to get the healing um, that we need in our body, right? So, when I'm by water, I mean, that's why we all love to go to the beach. Hello. There's a connection there. It's not just, it's beautiful. We're literally connecting with that pie, if I may say, right? That pizza.
Exactly.
And why we get so excited is because it's part of us. We're part of it. And if we can embrace that more, there'll be less chaos in our mind.
Absolutely. Nature is a great way to get connected to that. Just
Mm,
being with Mother Earth, hugging a tree or sitting below a tree and just taking in all that earth energy.
Yes.
Watching the moon cycles is a way to tune into that, right? To see
Beautiful. Yeah.
something bigger than yourself and to tune into something that's beyond you,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. And I'm so excited. I'm definitely going to be doing a show on astrology because,
Oh, cool.
that is another avenue where, no one tells us that there is a connection between what a full moon and a half a moon and what we can do when we see, the position of the moon. It's just amazing. It's not just about horoscopes. There's a
Right.
lot more than that, right? A lot more than that. So, stay tuned because that will be coming up in the near future. But Beth, let's talk about, you've been in it for such a long time. Give us some magical experiences that you've seen with your clients, from whether it was spiritual work, energy work, whatever you've done, where you saw a beautiful transformation. Because I know that is what drives us to just love this work, because it truly is transforming and you can see it in front of your eyes, right? And that's what I love, what I do.
Yeah, I've been blessed over the last 35 years to work with a lot of different people with a lot of different challenges. So I have been blessed to work in an OBGYN office, to be present at 3 births, a home birth, a twin C-section delivery, and a vaginal breech birth. All 3 were pretty challenging deliveries. They were all really beautiful experiences. I've worked with people, with kids of all ages. I've supported women on their fertility journeys. I've done a lot of work with hospice and end of life kind of care,
Okay.
watching people transition, really beautiful, beautiful experiences. And I've also done a lot of work with people living with challenging illnesses like AIDS and HIV and cancer, and people on their healing journey that way. It's really powerful to watch how people really can take charge of their own healing journey and what happens in those situations. People heal themselves physically, they heal themselves emotionally, they heal relationships. It's just super powerful work.
Yeah, it sure is. And, I myself, I'm a cancer survivor, and that's my new thing, is helping. It's not my new thing. It's what I finally accepted as my calling, to be totally honest. The reason I know why I went through this journey is because if I made it and God gave me another chance, then I have a duty to go out and help others who are in this journey. And that's why I believe in this work, because I've used it for myself, right? I'm my own testimony. And what I see that is what has done for me is to understand that we are powerful beings, and that the healing starts within us. Yes, we need help from the outside. We won't say we don't need help from the outside. But even after we get that help from the outside, we still have work to do. And this inner work that, again, opened my eyes to, like, I feel like I'm in Disney World, for goodness sakes.
There's a big world out there, right?
It's like Disney World. You want to go on this roller coaster and there's like a new way of doing things. You want to go over here and it's like magic, and everywhere you go, it's magic. It's like magic. That's the best way I can describe energy work. So I love the fact that we are beings that like instant gratification. Well, tap into the energy world, and that is instant gratification. I promise you, because I felt my first experience literally was over Zoom during COVID, and I was like, what is this? What did you just do to me? Right? And I went, and I was on, that was Psyche instructor, facilitator, who did some work with me. And I'm like, I felt that. I felt that. And it was the greatest feeling in the world to just calm me down, internally, right? Because when we're calm internally, then we can think straight.
That's right.
And so I found that being the biggest component of my healing, the emotional and mental side, the energy work, far none, was my my savior, my savior. And
That's
I'm giving
beautiful.
it back. I'm giving it back because it is very, very powerful. For sure, my hair is all messed up. But anyway,
And it's cool how it works even remotely.
yes,
It's very powerful.
yes. So this energy field that we have, that we can work with to truly help us, again, we all need healing because life is not easy. We know that, right? We all have to like be jumping over things, and it's smooth for a little bit and then we feel the bumps again. But the feelings and the emotions that come from any experiences we have are important to acknowledge them and not just say that experience is over with. Let's put it under the rug and move on with life. I'm sorry. It's always there till you clean it up, you face it, you clean up, and you release it. You release it because that's truly what's holding you back, I feel, from having success in life, or finding what your true purpose is. We all came here to do a job, something that we love, use our talents to offer to others. And you can have $1 billion in the bank. Let me make it clear, even $10 billion in the bank. If you haven't found your purpose and what you came here to do to help others, you're always going to feel lost. In fact, I just saw a video this morning of a friend, Carla, who said we have the Spanish Head Division lives in a beautiful penthouse in the city. And her neighbor next door, if you're living in the city in a penthouse, you have to have money, committed suicide, right? It doesn't matter how much money you have. It's how you're feeling inside. Hence why the answers are inside. And when you tap into that spiritual energy that's within you, you can feel a lot better.
Absolutely.
I did too much talking. You're the expert.
Well, I think we all need to become our own experts.
Yeah, no, we are. We all,
I'm not really an outside expert. I feel like we're all the experts of ourselves.
No, what I mean by that is like you've seen so many transformation, more so than I have. I mean, you're doing it for 30 years. I'll being transparent here is like I had my wake up call during my cancer journey, right? And so I was in my 40s. You had yours in your teens. So your train is way past mine.
Well, it's not a race.
It's not a race, but you have so much knowledge to share, and that's why I love the information you're sharing with us, because it's really helping people to wake up. You have gone further, and this is what happens when you have so many years ahead of somebody else. You created a beautiful community.
Yeah.
A beautiful community. Talk to us about that. Your tribe TLC.
Tribe
I thought
TLC.
it was.
So
I
it's
said Tender Love and Care Tribe, but it is that, but not that. Let's go into it.
So yeah, early on in my practice, I realized that I could help a lot of people by doing the energy healing piece of it, but I could help even more people if I supported other healthy living practitioners and wellness entrepreneurs in having more successful businesses. And there are a lot of people out there, practitioners that do energy healing and other kinds of healing, who are really good at what they do, but they're not so good at the business aspect of it, putting themselves out there and marketing themselves. And so I realized that if I supported other people in doing their best work, that I could have a greater impact in the world. And so I created this community. We've been together since 1997, and we do lots of supporting one another, both personally and professionally. And it's a lot of fun.
I love that. Like I said, I did my homework on your website, and I see like you you travel to different places, you know, at New York, Connecticut, and you just bring the group and to meet more people, and that's just so beautiful. So
It's really
beautiful.
fun.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, it's all about.
I founded the group on the principle that the light of a single candle burns brighter in a gathering. And I think that's true of not just our holistic community, but I think that's true of all of us on this planet, that when we shine our light bright, that we make a bigger impact in the world, bigger positive impact.
I'll share a quick story in regards to that. Oprah, another mentor of mine, I love her. She had a show that talked about, she had a guest on her show that said, it was the plane that went down after 9/11. So it was in October something. And the plane was up on fire, and then some people made it. So this man, and I hope I'm going to say the story correctly, but I think I will. The man was in first class, and he survived. And Oprah said to him, do you think, you know, God kept you alive? He's like, I don't believe in God. He says, what I do know is this. He says, when I looked back and I saw all those seats inferno, he says, what I saw was a light that was leaving the body. But one light was more shinier than the other. He goes, and what I translate that into, the meaning for me is that the more good you did here on this earth, the brighter your light.
Wow.
Right? So he says, what I want to make sure is that when I leave this earth, he says, that I want my light to shine the brightest. That story beautiful. I'll never forget. And it all connects to what do we give? How do we support each other? We're all connected. We're all part of that pie.
Right.
And how we work with each other determines how our life is going to be. Right? So it's so important to, you know, when you're getting mad at someone and you're cursing them out, I promise you, it's hurting you more than it's hurting them. You know, when you say that that person hurt you, try to forgive. Forgiveness is the biggest part of, you know, holding back emotions, right? Being in that low vibration because you don't want to forgive, because you're holding a grudge. All of that matters in how we live our best life. And this work helps us to do that, to release those things that are holding you back from being the light, the beautiful light that we came down here to be and share. I can talk about this forever, but you know, I love everything about you, everything that you do. You're sharing your light, your love, your light, bringing people together. And really, you know, we have a passion to see people have a good life.
Absolutely.
Right? We have a passion for that because I believe our mess is our message. You know,
that's true.
Our mess, whatever is going on in our life, which is a mess, we're learning to like keep it shut behind closed doors. Well, guess what? That's not the way it was meant to be. It was meant to be to share it so you can help each other, because we're all going to have messes in our lives.
That's right.
Right? So I know you said you met Dr. Oz, or he's talking about energy healing. Let's just talk about him a little bit.
Well, yeah, he was back in the dark ages when I started doing energy healing. He was really um, prominent in having. He had energy healers in when he was a cardiothoracic surgeon. He had energy healers in his operating room
Ooh,
at Columbia Presbyterian. Yeah,
right here in New York City?
right here in New York City.
I should have known. I would have went to visit him.
I mean, and that was 35 years ago, a long time ago, back in the dark ages. Now
Wow.
energy healing's gotten a little more popular, Reiki's
And
pretty
I
well
think it
known.
still has like a lot to go
Oh,
because,
I'm sure. Yeah.
really a lot of insurance companies don't want to pay for energy healing,
Yeah.
right? And I tell you, if they rethought that, they would see that we'd be saving a lot of money,
That's right.
right? But they're just looking at it from one side. And this is where we say, there's never just one way of doing things. There is multiple ways of healing. And if you are curious, connect with us. We will let you experience what it is to tap into your own energy, to feel it, and then you decide, but not to experience it and say, I don't believe in this. This is woo woo. What you're doing is putting limits on what could be possible in your life. And I believe that since it's not in books, I have committed myself to bring this out to the world. So, how? I'm not even going to worry about the how. That's not my job. My job is to make commitment that this is what I'm going to do. Because if someone's in pain in Hawaii, we're feeling it collectively. If we're all part of the pie, right?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that, the collective part of us, because I'm sure you got into that with your line of work. We have a few
Yes.
more.
Well, I mean, we are all connected. And so it's important for us to raise the vibration of everybody when we do that. We all benefit, right?
Yeah. And vice versa, when we have the negativity going on, it affects the collective as
Everybody.
well, right?
That's right.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, when 9/11 happened, there was an earth shift because everyone, their emotions were so low because everyone was so upset and worried and disaster that it actually shifted the planet.
Sure. I believe that.
Right? Because again, everything is energy, guys. Albert Einstein, I mean, he's the man who's the
The
smartest man in
man.
the world, right? Whatever. He said everything is energy. And Dr. Wayne Dyer said, what does that leave out? Everything is energy. What does that leave out? Absolutely nothing. So if we can understand that we're energetic beings and to heal ourselves is our birthright.
And it's our responsibility, quite honestly.
That's right. That's right. So everything starts within us. When we change, the world changes.
That's right. Be the change, right?
Be the change you want to be, right? That's Gandhi.
Gandhi.
Of course, of course. So any final thoughts?
I don't know. I just think that I want people to remember that they've got the power.
Is there a song? You got the power.
You got the power.
You do. You do. You do. You do. And you know what? I think consciously they know that. They want to be in charge, right?
Yep.
The question is how? You're
Right.
probably asking yourself, like, how? I want to be in charge. I want to take control of my life. That was me too. Then connect with us. Connect with people who are a coach, a mentor, something that has been through it. You're not alone. These spiritual practices, you're never alone. Boy, was that something that opened up my eyes to understand. And with that, your world changes, right? Your world changes. So I want to thank you so much, Beth, for coming on.
you.
And I appreciate you very much. And if anyone needs to contact Beth, or you want to know about the other fingers, what they mean, go to her website. She will share the rest of the information with you. But, we're here to help. So
Definitely.
feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And until next time, I'm your host, Giovanna Tardarone, and thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Beth, for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change with Gigi. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change with Gigi.